Hello, it's a delight to be here. You sing much better than my home congregation. Thank you for that. But don't tell them I said so. Our reading today is adapted from The Tree of Life, which was a reflection given in 2009. Consider the Tree of Life in the Garden of Eden. The Bible doesn't tell us what it looks like. But let's imagine a spreading, stately, mature tree in an open field with plenty of room. Its crown is high and wide. In my imagination, I see that each branch bears a different fruit. One branch has cherry blossoms and mature apples side by side, badly out of season. Another branch seems to have cantaloupe, hanging peacefully next to buttercups. But wait, over there is a branch with a nest of wasps, and above that a nest of baby birds. And beyond it, I imagine I see hanging the amniotic sacs of human infants and other mammals about to be born. This may not be the tree of life that Adam and Eve saw, but as we study genomes, science discovers that this is not so far from the truth. Nearly everyone in this room knows about DNA, the molecular blueprint that tells our bodies how to grow and makes us look like our parents. Humans like to imagine, at least in this culture, that there's a sharp distinction between us and them, humans, and the so-called lower orders of the taxonomy. And yet, about 98% of your DNA is the same as the DNA in chimpanzees. More than 90% of your DNA, and mine, is the same as the DNA in a banana. We shouldn't be surprised by this. The theory of evolution tells us that all the diversity of modern life is descended from the first single cell floating in the ocean, making its life out of what it could absorb. And it's this evolutionary family tree that we're focusing on today. If we're all connected, what's going on with our relationship to the animals and plants that we eat for food? If we are what we eat, what do you know about the food in your belly? Here in the modern urban West, some of us only know where food comes from because of the Discovery Channel. We shop in brightly lit supermarkets where the fruit of the vine is stacked in pyramids. Our children don't know that tomatoes grow in the light and potatoes grow in the dark, though they may know that apples grow on trees if they've heard the story of Johnny Appleseed. The butcher shop has been replaced by the meat department, where animal parts are displayed without identifying shapes or hide or fur, in clean white boxes wrapped in clear plastic. Plenty of families today buy ground meat pre-formed into stacks of flat, circular hamburger patties, separated by round sheets of waxed paper. Hard to tell what that used to be. How many of you today know what part of the world your food comes from? Did your blueberries come from New Jersey or Argentina? Was your hamburger raised in Kansas or New Zealand? Almost all the vegetables we eat are grown in monoculture fields, not in the company of plants that shade them, nor other plants that deter pests. And yet, all life is connected. Monotheists often say grace before meals to thank God for their food. Polytheists may thank many gods and goddesses by various names. Animists often thank the spirits of the animals and plants who gave their lives so that we might live. There is no separation between us. The atoms that were in the bodies of the food we eat now make up the bodies we inhabit. Eventually, the atoms of our bodies make their way back into the rest of the natural world, where they become food and fertilizer for the plants and animals that will become the food we eat. Their qualities are our qualities. There is no difference except in time. And so here we are on a Sunday in August, a time of mid-harvest. Nearby, we have local corn, peppers, tomatoes, cherries, cucumbers, eggplants, pears, squashes. So we'll take a little time together to commune with some of them. I hope most of you picked up a piece of fruit or vegetable as you came in, but if you didn't, please raise your hand and let an usher bring you one. Well, we do have a few who didn't. Okay, good. You can choose what you want, but don't take much time overthinking your choice. And a little later in the service, we'll be paying close attention to what we're holding together. Well, that's a tough act to follow. For those of you who are expecting a sermon, I hope you won't be disappointed, but I'm going to ask you to participate a little bit. And excuse me, I have to get my participation piece. I forgot. As UUs, we often celebrate the inherent worth and dignity of every human being. But today we're celebrating community with every being on the planet. So I'll invite you now to pick up the fruit or vegetable that you got when you came in, and to join me in a spirit of meditation and take a little journey with this interesting being. Ready? So let's begin. Take a moment first to feel where gravity holds you. The chair, the floor, whatever part of your body is touching the earth or whatever is on the earth. Take a breath and let it out, and bring your awareness to this present moment. You can keep your eyes open if you like, you can close them if you like, that's entirely up to you. As you hold this fruit or vegetable, pay close attention to it. Feel its shape in your hand. See its color, smell its aroma. Notice its softness, its firmness. Is it squishy, sturdy? Just notice. Let yourself become aware of its beauty, its aliveness, its vibrancy. You might imagine that it's still attached to its stem. Maybe this is a good time to close your eyes. And that the stem is still attached to the stalk or branch from which it came. Hold this fruit as if you're about to pick it. Perhaps you will imagine yourself outdoors. Is it sunny or cloudy? Feel the warmth of the sun or the coolness of the breeze. The ground under your feet. Is it warm, cool? Perhaps you are barefoot. Now let your awareness travel up the stem, along the stalk or branch, or down the trunk, into the body of the plant. Perhaps you can be present to what the plant feels. The nourishing sun, the thirst-quenching waters, the tickle of worms and insects, the changing temperature as day goes into night, as season follows season. You might let your attention move deeper along the roots of the plant or tree into the earth. Follow the roots downward, past the roots of other plants, past the worms that turn the soil. If you like, move on past the ends of the roots into all that feeds them. You might recall that this is the source of the food that you eat every day, and thus the source of all of your own being, the source that has fed you since before your own beginning, the source that fed your forebears from the beginning of the world's first life. Once you have reached the source as you understand it, of all that nourishes you, sit with it for a time. Listen for whatever it may have to tell you. Does the earth have a question for you? How will you respond? Do you have a question to ask? Give yourself a moment to frame a question or send a message. Or simply to feel your connection to the source, the interconnected web of all existence. Now, in a moment, we will take our leave for the time being and return the way we came. So let your awareness move from the soil back into the roots that you followed to this place. And follow the path of the roots up and up through the ground, perhaps observing the roots of other plants, the worms that turn the soil. Follow the roots back to the stem or trunk. Move your awareness upward to the branch, outward along the branch to the stem, and return to that fruit you hold in your hand. Is it still attached? You can pick it now if you like. And now, holding this fruit or vegetable, recall the room in which you took it from the basket. Feel the room around you. Feel the floor under you as you move your feet. Be aware of the other people in this room with you. And when you're ready, wiggle your toes and fingers. Let your eyes relax open. And be here now. Now this fruit is yours in a new way. You can take it home. You can put it on the windowsill. You could throw it in the garbage. You could eat it. You could add it to soup. It's yours. Enjoy. Blessed be.